Let's go diving in right here. We are weeks away, just a couple of weeks away from, in my opinion, I've been to a lot of races. I've been to a lot of races around the country. Last December, I was able to make it out to St. Louis for the Gateway Dirt Nationals, the Dome of the Americas there. And that to me was the coolest thing that I had ever seen. Here is the man, here's the promoter and the founder of this amazing event. It's Cody Sommer joining us. Cody, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. You hear me good?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear, man. Got you loud and clear. So like I said right there, I want to dig into your mind before we talk about what's coming up here in a couple of weeks, first weekend there in December. Let's go back to 2016. How did this all come together with the idea of let's get the baddest ass dirt late models and modifieds that we can find and take them to St. Louis in the Dome? How did this all come together and build this tremendous event that you have built?
Well, it's been a bit of a process, of course. It didn't just happen overnight, although it seemed that way to the industry, but I had worked on it for several years, like about 5 years. In fact, Flow Sports just posted a video, I think yesterday, maybe it was today. I'm losing my mind at this point, but they really dove into the history. It was a 4-minute video, and they dove into like that first year and the process and but it was a 5-year process. Really had the idea. I've always been an innovator. I've always felt like to be successful, you have to be different. Even to this day, I operate in a very different mindset. I think that if you're complacent, you're failing. Even if you're successful, you shouldn't be settling. So back then in 2016, the sport was a little bit different than it is now, but it kind of in a way wasn't either. You know, I always use craft beer as an analogy. A lot of people like to try different craft beers. Well, the racing industry and the fan base is no different. They want to try different things. They want to see different things. And they may really like this Oktoberfest, but then next October, they're going to want something different. So you have to be willing to be, flexible, move the target a little bit. And back then, I just wanted to do something big. And I had this idea and I said, wow, I think this could work. At the Pontiac Silverdome, that was really the only inspiration I needed. Is once I knew that it had been done, I knew that I could do it. Fast forward, originally I wanted to do the Lucas Oil Stadium during PRI, tried for 3 years. I literally tried for years. No. There's a reason why. I'm not going to get into it. But basically, that's how Indy Indoors happened in 2015. And I did a midget race indoors at Bankers Life Fieldhouse at the time, which is where the Pacers play. In a way, it was successful, and in a way, it was a failure. But either way, that was the segue into what is now the Gateway Dirt Nationals.
It's amazing.
That's crazy. It's the craziest ideas always seem to have the biggest success.
Yeah.
So Cody, one of the things that we notice is that the guys and girls that run the bigger series and the bigger races, you don't have to pull the personalities out of them like you do some of the more up and coming stars, because they tend to know how to play the part, if you will, right? With air quotes. Is that something that you guys talk about in a driver's meeting? Because some of your guys get out, I can't park there, say it with me, stuff like that. Is that something that you guys try to promote in a driver's meeting, or is that just something that you let happen organically?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's no secret that I encourage a certain type of behavior, but I'm going to clue you in a little bit here. So I think it was last year or the year before, it might have been last year. I used the reference and the analogy again of hockey. The gloves come off, they hit the ice. But once you all fall on the ice, it's over, and everybody needs to be okay with it being over. And there is a line, I've always said this, there is a line that you can cross. So as a promoter, we're kind of, I don't want to use the word we're flirting with disaster, because I don't like thinking of it that way. But at the end of the day, most promoters don't really want you to express your personality when you're angry. Let's be honest. Me, I want you to. I just don't want you to cross the line. And so that's where a lot of times I'll get in the drivers' meetings or I'll talk to people individually and I'll basically say, listen, this is the dome. You're expected to express yourself. And if you don't, in our unique format, there's a chance that maybe I just don't think that you really should be back. You shouldn't be invited. You shouldn't be a part of that pool or whatever. There are literally guys that are being invited today that probably statistically are maybe not one of the best. I'm using modified as an example. Maybe not one of the best, but you know what? They've got one of the best personalities and they fit the mold of what the dome's about, and the fan base. The fan base there wants to see excitement, period. That's what they want. And it's my job to try to orchestrate giving that to them. And so, but again, there is a line that can be crossed. I never want it to be like it's a free for all, because I think everybody could agree and know that that is definitely not a good direction. But I guess I would just ask everybody to trust my judgment, because we're almost 10 years into this deal now, and it's going good. So, yeah, we'll see what happens this year, but I guarantee you there'll be sparks and fireworks.
Absolutely.
There always
And the one
is.
thing that I learned, Cody, having been there last year, was talking to a lot of people. And again, the location is just great right there in the Midwestern part of the United States. But St. Louis fans, I mean, there's a lot of St. Louis fans that are still upset that, you know, the Rams left and all of these different things. And the fact that you have made that building, you have made that building the home of this event. It has been embraced by that community, and it's unbelievable to see the crowds. I mean, last year, opening capacity on Friday, and you know, capacity that had never been reached before. Talk about that. This is a community event at the same time, bringing people from all around the U.S.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, again, I think back, you brought it up already, but like 2016, part of the reason that I was even able to go there was because the Rams left. If the Rams didn't leave, it would have made this whole thing probably not what it is today. Would it have been possible maybe this year, but maybe not this year, because playoffs come into play with the NFL and all these different factors that people don't understand with scheduling. And trust me, we are very small in comparison to the National Football League. If they have a game or they have playoffs, they don't give a dang about us. So, but I remember those early days, and there was a